But taking a conversation back to commercial real estate, we spoke about storefront retail, we spoke about industrial. Let's talk about the office space. I was on a conversation on Clubhouse, and we were in a group, kind of everyone from different backgrounds. There was guys from mainly in the real estate private equity realm, and when the conversation came to office space, and I right away jumped in and said, hey, listen, guys, when you were talking about particular asset classes, we're talking about somebody's livelihood. So it's analogous to speaking about religion or politics. So we have to be very careful in kind of assessing or giving our predictions, because somebody has dedicated their profession, dedicated their business to being in that asset class. For example, being office space. So many people in the office space believe that it will come back, that this concept of people working from the office will come back. I personally don't believe that will be the case. I believe there will be a transition, that this concept of glamorizing the working man going into the office will eventually kind of change, if not fully, partly. And even if, when you talk about real estate and you talk about data and numbers, if something happens in a small percentage, it can affect that asset class huge. So kind of talk to us about office space, and what is your kind of view and predictions, and what are you seeing in the market currently?
So yeah, I think that office space is a space that I personally would stay away from, with the exception of medical office, because medical office is, so to speak, I don't want to call it essential retail, but it's essential office, right? I have an $11.5 million medical office listing right now that's under contract. I think that's a hot space. I love that space. There's a concept of what we call a sale leaseback, which is where, let's say, a hospital system, a major hospital system, for example, they not only operate their business outside of a building, but they own the building too. So they own the building, they own the business. I think that what we're going to see as a phenomenon across the country very shortly is the sale leaseback of medical office buildings. And again, what happens in those situations is that the company that owns the building sells the building to a new owner and then leases back the space. So instead of being the building owner and the person that's renting, they're now just the tenant. So I think that we're going to see that across the country, and I'm personally excited for that, because that's going to free up a lot of cash for these hospital systems that are frankly very cash strapped. Now, if you go to the traditional office, I think that we're going to see a whirlwind of change. Personally, I believe that dollars and cents are always the bottom line, and if you look at major corporations across the country, I believe that they've saved tremendous capital expenditures by having people work from home. And I believe that the cost of operating an office will increase. You're going to need more square footage per employee, because people are not going to be happy with those close quarters anymore. And at the end of the day, when a corporation can save significantly on their bottom line by letting people work from home, I think it's going to happen. And I think that on the whole, a lot of people are comfortable and happy working from home. So I see that as it's definitely not going to go back where it was. It's not going to stay where it is. We're going to find some type of happy medium. Now, that creates a very big problem, because office space is incredibly difficult and expensive to repurpose. If you think about it, when you walk into an office, it's like no other experience. You don't walk into a shopping center or a drugstore or a retail storefront, go in a lobby, walk down a hall, go up an elevator, go into a suite. There's no other experience that's like the office experience. Therefore, it makes it very difficult and hard to repurpose. So the next question, that's my prediction in terms of what my outlook is for the office space. In terms of what to do to solve that problem, I mean, I think that some of those office buildings that are located on incredible real estate in terms of proximity to central business districts or proximity to major freeway systems, there's a chance that those will get repurposed for, I believe, a more of an industrial utilization, like a fulfillment center. I think that we're going to see the same thing in multi-tenant retail in shopping centers, that we're going to see that because that real estate is incredibly well located along those freeway networks, we're going to see that being repurposed to fulfillment centers as well. Again, the major challenge there is the cost of repurposing office space because of its unique design structurally.